Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Phoenix Raceway right here in the beautiful desert of Arizona. Tonight, or this morning, we have Racers Elite going at it for their season finale, where either Andrew Teft or Dale Prokop Vasquez. Valaquet, he will possibly take home the championship here tonight, this morning, and we are excited to have this thing underway. But before we do get into that, I am Mike Taylor up here in the booth, and right behind our cameras is the one, the only Christian Hill. Christian, thank you so much for running our beautiful cameras, and you will be joining up here in the booth with us as well. And before we get to that, this is the final race of the season, so let's go ahead and let's look at the schedule. So this here is the last race of the chartered events here for 2025. And we're typically supposed to go full length here, but with the time restraint of the in real world season finale for NASCAR, they decided to go ahead and shorten it to 156 laps tonight. Your points or your track overview. This track is a 1 mile D-shaped looking track. It is 4 corners. Opened up in January of 1964. It's hosted IndyCar, NASCAR, and some other series as well along the way. And it did cost $1 million to build back in 1964. Your pit speed is 45 miles an hour. Your banking is 3 on the straights and up to 11 degrees in these corners. Let's go ahead and take a quick look here at your points standings. So, virtually,
sorry, 1 second.
Virtually, Andrew Teft, he has to win it in order to clinch the championship, and he will need Dale to finish back in 5th. He needs to finish 5th or worse in order for Andrew Teft to win it. So as long as he is up in that top 4, then Dale will clinch the championship for this season. Sorry, one more. Here we go. Alrighty. So we are getting ready to switch over and get these cars out on the racetrack today. We are so let's go ahead and take a look now at our starting grid for the season finale here at Phoenix. Starting on the pole, it's going to be Andrew Teft in that number 98 machine, and to his outside we have Richard Ode in that number 78. Row number 2 on the inside we have Barry Nelson, and to his outside Kensley Smith. Love that paint scheme. Curtis Ecker and Cody Benelli, will make up row number 3. Row number 4, we got Michael Prince and Timothy Eisburn. Row 5, Daniel Jackson and Dale Prokop Valaquet. Row 6, Kirby Wainscott and Austin Norris. Row number 7, Jonathan Stidham and Sean Dunaway. Alex Teft and Alan Bergen will make up row number 8. And to round out our field here today, I apologize. we had I got excited. Wanted to keep going, but that was the last one from what Christian just told me. Well, darn. I'm ready to get this thing going. Alrighty, let's go ahead and take a quick look here at our race analysis. And rather, these drivers are going to be ripping it around this track for 156 laps. They have 10 sets of tires available, 100% fuel, 1 fast repair, and we will have 3 Green-White-Checkers in their arsenal if we need it. Alrighty, in your weather, it's 76 degrees outside, but it's only a 77 degree track, so it's not too hot, so it should be looking just fine as we're getting ready to go green flag racing here at Phoenix. It's a long way to the start finish line, and for these drivers sometimes it could feel like it is absolutely taking forever. And we are green flag for the season finale of Racers Elite right here at Phoenix. Andrew Tuft, he gets out to a really good start, but there's now a side-by-side battle up here for that second spot. But right now it's all in the hands of Barry Nelson, who's looking to try to come onto the inside now of Andrew Tuft. But he didn't have a really good exit there out of turn number 2. As we see one car get way outside, that's Cody Benelli in that number 19 machine. As these drivers will use up all of that dogleg on the back straightaway. Right now, we're taking a look here at Kensley Smith in that number 15 machine. Oh, back to that. Let me take a quick look here. Richard Ode, he's hanging tight up there in that 4th spot. Currently holding off Michael Prince in that number 45 machine. These drivers doing a phenomenal job at keeping their cars absolutely straight in the dogleg from that transition to the banking, because if they're not careful, that banking can definitely upset the car. As you see, Timothy Eisburn in the back bounce off the wall out of turn number 2 that time by. So this track will play mind games with these drivers all day long, as they will get loose here in turn 2, but then that very next lap they can become extremely tight. So this track is definitely very temperamental, as these drivers do have to survive 156 laps. Really good battle going on so far over here, right around for that 5th spot. As you know, as you see, Andrew Tuft still leading this pack with Curtis Ecker in that number 8 machine still right behind him. You know, Andrew Tuft, he isn't really pulling away, so at this point it is still anybody's game at this point. No one's really like flexing their muscles early on, as we see that 28 of Barry Nelson tap the wall on the entrance into turn number 1. A lot of cars bouncing off the wall and out of turn 2. These drivers have to be careful, because hitting that wall one too many times will break a toe link on these vehicles, and that will force you to come down, make repairs, and that could end your day and chance to win this race. Just want to put it out there, Dale Prokop, he is back over in that 12th position. He's actually lost 2 spots since we went green flag racing here today. So he's going to have to start making his way back towards the front if he wants a chance to win this championship here today. Really good battle now here for that 4th spot. Kensley Smith trying to get around Richard O'Day, but Barry Nelson in that number 28 machine, he's trying to have a say in here as well. As you see, Barry Nelson dive down into turn number 1 to get to the outside of Smith. Not able to make it happen as they come rocketing down the back straightaway. You can just see the absolute difference in speeds entering that corner. You know, Kensley Smith, he drives it down just a little bit deeper than everybody else. But he also knows how to save those tires as we ride on board now. As we take a look here at him, at his speed through these corners, roughly about 130 miles an hour. And then they crank it all the way up to just about 160 before they bring it all the way back down to right about 100 miles an hour through turns 3 and 4, back to the start-finish line, down on to the apron of the dogleg, back up on track to about 140, and they do it all over again. That just absolutely tells you how fast this racetrack is for only being a 1 mile. As you see that number 28 of Barry Nelson bounce off the wall back there. Kensley Smith's doing actually a pretty decent job, you know, just riding around. You know, this is a fairly long race, 156 miles total. So they're not really, you know, pushing too terribly hard at this point in time. As we see a good battle back here between Sean Dunaway and that number 19, Cody Benelli, as they run side by side out of turn number 4. And Sean Dunaway, he will take over that spot, but that 19, Cody Benelli, is not giving up so easily, as they will dive down here into turns 1 and 2, but Dunaway, he will take it over. Dunaway has moved up 6 spots since we went green flag racing today. I like to call Sean Dunaway the second half driver. The first half of a race, he'll just bide his time, figure out the feel for the car, feel for the track, and then when it really counts, he will rocket towards the front of this field. So definitely be looking for that 01 Kirby Wayne Scott to really make some noise later on near the end of this race. As you see, Cody Benelli, he's still trying to work hard to get back around Sean Dunaway, but so far he hasn't been able to make a decent move. But as he now has Eisburn starting to make some noise behind him here as well. Eisburn looking to get down onto the apron to come up right next to him, but he just doesn't have that momentum yet. He's actually lost almost a half a second there on Cody Benelli, so Eisburn didn't have a really good exit there out of turn number 4 that last time by. As we take a closer look at that number 92 of Timothy Eisburn, he actually does not have damage, I don't think. I believe, yes. So that's something that we talk about all the time. So if those who, not sure if you heard Christian or not, he was like, he has damage. No, that's just his paint scheme. So he really messes with the cameras with that paint scheme, and I absolutely love it. Because sometimes I really have to stop and really take a look to see if there's actually damage or not. But yeah, it looks like it's being torn. You can see the inside of the race car. It's a pretty cool looking paint scheme. As we jump back here to that number 14 of Danny Jackson, working on the inside of Barry Nelson now for that 5th spot. And Danny Jackson, he's starting to move his way up towards the front of this field, as he now is putting distance between himself and Barry Nelson who is actually just falling back a little bit as Michael Prince got around him as well. So now he has his eyes set on that number 15 of Kensley Smith. He's just about 2.3 seconds ahead, so he's now got to try to reel in those drivers in front of him, as we have a battle now for that second spot. These two drivers have been swapping it back and forth. Richard O'Day in that number 78 machine and that 8 car of Curtis Hecker. So these drivers were just swapping it back and forth for just a few more, for a couple corners there. And I believe we are ready to have Christian join us up here into the booth. Christian, do you got a copy?
Hey, Mike. So yeah, I wanted to jump in here so you weren't all alone. I think Bryce might be jumping in a little later, but I figured I'd give you a bit of a break so you're not talking for 156 laps or anything. Bryce comes in. But yeah, this is a pretty clean race so far. They've separated out pretty quickly. You got a few battles here and there. You got a battle for 9th at the moment and battle for 13th, which is the 8th. But yeah, these guys have really been pushing it. But I haven't been pushed too far, obviously. You see a few guys taking the dog leg, a few not. As you can see right there, Barry Nelson was taking the dog leg. One of the perks of taking the dog leg, obviously, is a shorter distance, but you do burn up your tires more because you're not on that banking. That banking kind of saves you from really sliding on that flat surface. You don't have anything to kind of push against, so you're sliding off. So they are burning up their tires quicker if you are taking the dog leg. However, it does help you, I guess, save time, obviously, by essentially cutting the track legally. See how far they take it into that pit lane. It's actually crazy. They can let you do that. And you can even see Barry Nelson kind of just nipping his tires below. Oh, he's going to come into the pit, so he's our first green flag pit stop.
Yeah, it looks like Barry Nelson, he will come down pit road right about lap 24 of this event. So, yeah, definitely. I feel like this is a little bit on the early side. They've only ran just about 25 miles. So, I mean, I know that these guys can go quite a bit, before because I believe they actually have 100% fuel in their gas tank. So I'm not exactly sure what kind of strategy he's trying to do here. But as you see, he used up his fast repair, got that front end damage fixed. But he sure did come down and get 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up some data and see how long they should be running. Tires. We're gonna do some math.
Yeah, for sure. You do fall just about 2 laps. Oh, Barry Nelson is around on out of turn 2, and he just re-damages that front end part of his car after using up his fast repair. So that kind of just shows, like, hey, these tires are very, very cold on a cold track. I mean, the track temperature was just 1 degree higher than the air temperature. So, I mean, it is a cold track, which means, yeah, there is grip. But when you got cold tires on a cold track, it doesn't really work out very well. It's kind of like a magnet. If you put a positive with a positive, it does not work out. They push against each other. So you're practically putting 2 magnets face to face, and they're just pushing away from each other. But after a couple laps, that one magnet will turn into a negative, and they will stick like glue. And that's just exactly what you experienced there with Barry Nelson in that number 15, losing it out of turn 2 on cold tires on a cold track. So Jonathan Stidham, I know he's down here on pit road. It looks like he's getting service on his machine now.
So from what I can tell, I believe you should be able to run like 120 laps on a full 100% full. So he's coming in almost 100 laps early. Not exactly sure what that. Maybe I don't know why he would come in so early.
Well, I know that this track, it's like a razor blade for these cars here. I'm not exactly, 100% sure on why, but I mean, I know if you run on like that seam that you guys see there to dictate, right about the separation of lanes around the speedway, but also at the same time, like there's not like cracks going, up and down the track, from like the inside to the outside wall. But for some reason, this track, it loves to eat up tires.
Yeah, there is meaningful fall off here because it's a low bank track. I mean, I think the highest banking you have around, I think it's turn 3 and 4 is 11 degrees. So it's not a high bank track. It's about one third of Talladega at 3 degrees. So you do have a decent amount of slide, and especially if they're taking that dog leg, they're just eating the tires. As you can see, some of them are maybe taking the dog leg a little bit, not much. And then you have other drivers like Sean Dunaway who are just kind of going all through it, eating up their tires as much as possible. And they're just trying to crack. However, you do on long green flag runs, you do expect the cars to come alive towards the end, right? So once you kind of settle into that nice groove, the cars will come alive, and you can expect them. I mean, they have about 120 laps in the pool. If they can make these tires last, they can take a two-tire stop, cut that up real quick, and then they only have about 36 laps to go towards the end on a new tires, so they can really rip the motor even through those laps.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, it also all depends, like, how are you going to play out your pit strategy, if we don't see a caution? So, I mean, as of right now, we've had 4 drivers come in. So, do you keep running until you feel like your tires are completely shot, or like do you try to run it as far as you can, or do you want to go ahead and just pit with everybody else?
Well, like I said, this is a tire conversation on conservation track. You need to protect the rears. You're really going to light up the rears coming off of turn 1, and and especially turn 3 or turn 4. I'm kind of turned around. I'm still having kind of my mind around exactly because they switched everything. That's turn 4. So coming off of turn 3, I was correct. You start to light up those rears coming off of turn 3. And so if you can save your rears and make them last a little longer, be a little more gentle on the throttle, you can really save and you can cash out that later. You can really use that later on, have more standard lap times, and you won't have as much of a fall off, but you're going to be kind of over average. You're going to be slower in the beginning. You can hope for no cautions. We only have 15 drivers, so 14, excuse me. I think Jonathan Stidham has retired. He's 8 laps now. I think if you can really kind of conserve those tires, you might be able to really make for a long green flag run like we're having now.
Yeah, talk about Jonathan Stidham. Yeah, he did post saying that he's going to run as long as he can, but unfortunately, he's got a sick kiddo back at the house. So, unfortunately, in real life always takes precedent over this amazing simulator that we call iRacing and call home. So definitely hope your kiddo feels a lot better, John. Definitely give him a lot of love from Racers Elite Network booth up here, and hopefully he gets up and running again here later. As we take a look here at that number 10 of Kirby Wayne Scott, he's not moving up through the field yet, like I was kind of anticipating him to, but he's still just cruising around right there, right about that 6th spot. S- So, no wait, yeah, ninth spot, wrong driver. Kirby Wayne Scott in that number 10 Racers Elite uh, Toyota. He gets up into the wall there. A little contact, but good. Taking a look here from the back part of that number 92 of Timothy Eisburn. Look at that dive down into turn 3 out of Kirby Wayne Scott. Man, it seems like they go like 2 different zip codes when they use that dog leg, but once they get back over here to turn number 1, they're right back next to each other. It absolutely blows my mind.
Yeah, so Timothy's tires are definitely gonna wear a lot quicker. You can just see how harsh it is and even I guess in real life they can start to damage their cars as well. I mean, see how harsh that is. You can see the sparks coming out underneath, coming back on. You're hitting that apron at such a high speed, so hard. I mean, obviously they built it for that, but it's rough on the cars. iRacing probably doesn't take that into account as much, but it's definitely rough on your tires. I mean, you're just smacking that concrete at the let me see if I can throw the onboard on for him. What speed they're hitting this thing? 145 miles an hour roughly, jumping back up at 150. That's
Yeah, that's definitely rough. But you know, these cars, they also have that underbody, that they have that panel underneath. You know, that's somewhat. I believe that's actually new with these cars. You know, but all the undercarriage used to be exposed. You know, the muffler was exposed. You know, everything else. But with these cars, you know, they've got that flat, you know, piece of metal underneath the cars, so that may help a little bit. You know, lighten up the damage hits for these cars, but they're still taking a beating. You know, especially if you're doing it for 156 laps.
Yeah, so they have that the under tray there. That helps, I guess, against damage, but it also helps with their ground effect. So it kind of sucks the car to the ground, and that's what they were kind of going for with this car. The next one, trying to make it road course worthy. As much as they tried, it's okay on road courses, not as great as they wanted to, but it was definitely an attempt, and it does work. Just not as well as I think I hope it to. It's more or less just a protection shield for some of them now.
Now, see, what they need to do for the road course is bring the Garage 56 car to all the teams.
That would be cool.
That right there is a NASCAR road vehicle. I'm just saying.
Yeah, if they could somehow make it, because they did a lot to that car. I mean, they put canards on it, they put wings, they put all sorts of stuff on it. I think they modified the engine, the suspension. I mean, there was a lot of stuff onto that car. But if they could somehow make like even like half of that version for this car, that they could maybe like add on, like, you know, just like pieces you could just like take on and off, or something like that. Simple stuff to help it. I think it would make their road course racing infinitely better. And then they can really kind of focus on the oval side of the car, because then it kind of transforms the car. You don't have to have that singular car. I understand that also adds cost to the vehicle, and they try to keep that low, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you know, racing, it's not a cheap hobby, you know, and I call it a hobby because these guys, you know, when they buckle up into these race cars, you know, it's their job, but way down, deep down, is it really a job? It's more of a hobby for these guys that get to go do what they love to do.
Yeah, at the top end of the obviously top end, you do have guys that this is their whole job. You know, you have people like Ross Chastain and all the, you know, you got most of the guys I think in the NASCAR Cup Series. It is their job. It is their full-time job. This is what they're doing. You know, they might not just do Cup. They might jump around into some other smaller series, but this is what they do. But some of the guys like with Infinity, you know, that some of them goes back and forth. You know, some might be just doing it for some of it. Some might, you know, ARCA is definitely, this is not their full-time job. This is definitely their,
No.
You know, but as you kind of go down the ladder, it becomes less and less of their full-time job and more of just something they kind of just do on the weekends. You see that with some other sports car racers. They have some other stuff to try to, supplement, because they're not racing every weekend. They're not racing all the time, especially in sports car racing with endurance racing. I mean, they have like 6-10 races in a season, so it does not offset their entire.
Yeah, absolutely. As we just saw Dale get around Kirby there for that 9th spot. So Dale, he's starting to make his way up through the field. He did drop all the way back to right around that 12th spot when we went green flag. But he's slowly starting to reel them all back in. As we see Cody Benelli in that number 19 machine. He's now down on pit road. Absolutely love this shot. Absolutely love it. As he gets ready to pull his number 19 machine hard left into his pit box. This is one of those awkward pit boxes that you can get into. Like, I feel like this is worse than trying to get into the pit box at Martinsville, with those corners, or with those pit boxes right on the corner. Because, like, you can't see your pit box. And I know that these guys have a rule that they can't go more than 3 boxes. But for me, like, when I'm out there, I mean, I'm just riding the inside because I don't know where the heck my box is.
Yeah, this is a difficult one. Like you said, with Martinsville and Bristol, you have some of these. Oh,
and hold it. Caution will wave for the first time. Kirby Wayne's, or I'm sorry, not Kirby. That number 19 machine of Cody Benelli. He spun it out of turn number 2. Again, it's that magnet effect. You have cold, and they just don't attract. And that's exactly what we saw there as these drivers catch up with your race leader. So this is tough because now you've got 4 or 5 cars a couple laps down here as you see that number 19 machine come rocketing out of turn number 2. And the car just continued to rotate a little too much here on exit as you see him just loop it around and make contact with that inside wall. We saw this happen earlier to Barry. Was it Barry? Yeah, Barry Nelson in that number 28 machine. Just at these speeds, the tires just don't want to grip.
Yeah, like I was mentioning earlier, turn 3, you're really getting on the throttle. You're really ripping up those rears. And if you're getting on the throttle, if you're doing the same kind of throttle application that you are when you have warm tires and you got cold tires, yeah, you're going to spin it around just like Cody and Barry Nelson.
There.
You're going to spin it. You don't have enough heat in the tires. They're still kind of like rocks. They're not that, that super gooey, kind of surface for them to stick into that asphalt and give you that attraction you need. So, yeah, that was just a mistake on Cody. Just a little too much power. It's an easy thing to do around here with cold tires and just even in general. You see people loop all the time in this line of racing with, turn 3. You just a little too much application. You're trying to catch the guy in front of you, and it's just not banked enough that you can spin it.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something very, very easy to do. And, I'm not a big fan of this track simply because I can't drive it. It's such a unique track that there's no other track like it. You can't compare it to any other track that we race on the Cup circuit.
Honestly, I think that's why I like it, actually. I think it's unique, it's different. I like that about some tracks. I don't like the same track over and over again. I'm primarily a road racing guy. I love the GTPs and all that. So I think this track being unique compared to the rest of the tracks, it makes it interesting. It makes it fun. There's different lines that you can take, especially turn 2 and 3. You can take a high line and make it work. You can take that low line and kind of touch the apron. And And then with the dog leg, it's open. You can kind of take it if you want, don't take it. It makes it unique and different. That's what I do like.
Absolutely. As we get ready to go back, green flag. Andrew Teft in the restart zone, and we are green flag racing once again here at Phoenix. Richard O'Day, or Ode, in that number 78 machine, falling back a little bit, and here comes that 0-1 machine of Sean Dunaway. Again, second half racer. We're not exactly at the halfway point just yet, but look at Sean Dunaway now up in that top 3. As he is getting attacked by Dale up in that 4th spot. So if we have 2 drivers around the 98 of Andrew Teft, he spun it around along with Richard O'Day or Ode in that number 78 machine, and that looked like some synchronized spinning out of turn number 4 there. I'm not sure if there was oil or something on the track, but both of those drivers just went around.
I'll see if I can pull up the plate here.
As you see them coming through. So this here's turns 1 and 2. And he's going to come rocketing down the back straightaway. Wait. Yeah, here he goes down here into the corner. And like at the same exact time, both of these drivers lose it and they head down towards the inside wall, but it actually looked like, yeah, I mean they just synchronized getting loose out of the corner. That's actually pretty cool to watch. Andrew Teft having an extra rotation in there just for giggles, I guess. But definitely keeping that car clean as they pulled away. So both of those drivers very lucky not to get any more damage as these 2 drivers come back down pit road to get fresh tires on their machines. And right behind your Iris and pace car, it's that 0-1 of Sean Dunaway making his way up to the race lead here. And all cars are back on the lead lap except Barry Nelson in that number 28 machine. Yeah, I just got word that Barry Nelson has packed it up for the morning here at Phoenix, or night here at Phoenix. As you see the field now doubling up behind the iRace and pace car. Pace car is in. It is now in the hands of Sean Dunaway. And the green flag is getting ready to wave here once again. Sean Dunaway gets an amazing jump here on this restart, followed by Kirby Wainscott. But Wainscott, when he hit down onto that transition, he lost a little bit of space on that number 9 machine of Dale. But Dale is fighting hard back to the outside here out of turn number 2. As he will drag race Wainscott down the back straightaway. Dunaway, he kind of let up just a little bit, I felt, as the rest of the field kind of like came right back behind him. as they dive down here into that dogleg once again. As you see them go 3 wide for that second spot. Here comes that number 8 machine of Curtis Eckert taking over that second spot by going 3 wide out of turn number 2. That was an incredible move there by Curtis Eckert and that 8 machine. Dale Procop Valaquet, he's back there now in that third spot. And as of right now, he has clinched the championship as they currently run. As you see Iceburn now working on that back bumper of Dale on the exit of turn number 2. Whoa, big turn. Kirby Wainscott hard into the inside wall. That's going to drop him back to the back of the field. And that's very unfortunate there for Wainscott in that number 10 machine as he got super sideways out of turn number 2.
Yeah, again, just too much throttle on that application coming out of that corner, and you just kind of light up those rears a little too quick as the banking drops away from you and you don't expect it, and around you go.
Yeah, definitely. As we witnessed that. And Curtis Eckert, he's now looking to attack that number 01 Hello Kitty machine of Sean Dunaway. Hello Kitty has been doing pretty good for Sean, so he said he's going to keep running those paint schemes. But I absolutely love this green and black machine of Curtis Eckert. There is just something about it that I absolutely love. Family Traditions RV sponsored machine. Curtis Eckert, he is the owner of it. So if you guys are in the middle of Pennsylvania looking for an RV, get a hold of the Family Traditions RV rentals for about $150 a night, depending on what RV you guys choose. And if you guys are going to be staying at an RV park, they will show up as we have trouble in the back. Michael Prince and the number 98 of Andrew Teft, as the caution will wave. Oh! Andrew Teft is not happy. Let's come back here, take a look, and see what happened as they were running side by side. Yeah. So he got up into the wall and then just bounced down into Andrew Teft. So that's one of those, unfortunate situations about Phoenix. It's just hard racing. That 31 bouncing off the wall came down into Andrew Teft, upsetting his car. And just around she goes. Both drivers, for the most part, did a pretty decent job at keeping it straight. No car really, fully jumping, fully backwards. So definitely good driving on both Andrew Teft and Michael Prince in that number 45.
Andrew Taft's had a pretty unlucky there. I wouldn't say it was either of their fault. Just bounce off the wall, and then you get hit. You kind of try to overcorrect, and then you bounce back into the guy who hit you. So kind of unfortunate there. And Andrew Taft showing his being upset by kind of giving him a bump on the back, but not doing any damage. I believe Andrew Taft did not use his fast repair. You can see a little bit of damage on that front left fender, front right fender, excuse me. But nothing too bad here. This track. Oh no, I think. But this track is very dirty air. Lots of dirty air. I wouldn't say it's totally aero dependent because obviously it's not. You're not on a super speedway where. It's also not like not Martinsville, where I wouldn't say Bristol's pretty aero. Not Martinsville, where basically if you have no front bumper, you can still race pretty well. You're not going to lose that much speed. So, aero wake is here, especially like I said, dirty air hurts in turns 3 and 4. This specifically the same. But other than that, it's not.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't look too bad. So they're Getting ready to go back green flag.
Watch out for those cold tires again. Knock them out of three.
Yeah, definitely got to watch for those cold tires as Kirby Wainscott will bring the field into the restart zone. And we are green flag racing once again here at Phoenix as they dive down into the dog leg. All the drivers spreading out using multiple different lanes as we have trouble heading down into turn number 1, but all the drivers were able to keep it straight. I think that was that number 7 of Austin Norris getting completely sideways into turn number 1. Slid up, bounced off the wall just a little bit, and he's going to hold off his momentum and just hang out in that 11th spot as we see Kirby Wainscott. Sean Dunaway working on the outside of Michael Prince, but unable to make it happen. Here comes that number 98 of Andrew Teft. He's low. We have one driver around. That's Curtis Ecker back out of turn number 2. Curtis Ecker in that number 8 machine. He looped it around there on coming out of turn number 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it was the same kind of situation. Just kind of light up your rears, come out of that turn, and there you go.
Hit the throttle and loops it. Yep.
Yeah, these guys are hitting their top throttle a little too early. Tires would have been decently warm by then, maybe a little too cold, but doesn't get smacked. Did. Yeah, just a little bit of.
Yeah, just a little bit of damage there. He's going to make his way down here on the pit road to get some of that fixed. As you said, it's not exactly, a aerodynamic track that you need to worry too much about aero. But, with them still holding, about 150 miles an hour, some of that damage coming out of the corners can still make a huge difference.
Also, apologies. I kept saying turn 3. It's turn 2 that I was. It's the pit entry corner. That's turn 2. I kept saying turn 3. Turn 3 is the that next corner. It's kind of weird. It's technically 5 corners, but there's also 4. It's very weird. Because the dog leg is kind of like its own corner, but it doesn't count as a corner. You have turns 1, 2, 3, 4, dog leg, and then it's like how people debate what is it? Pocono's 5 corners as well instead of 3.
Yeah. I mean, they're not wrong.
Yeah, that's something that someone told me months ago. I hadn't actually heard about that theory yet. I know officially it's tricky triangle, so it's 3. It would make sense.
Yes.
However, if you do think about the rest of the ovals, right? You have the entry and the exit are basically 2 corners. It does make sense that it's a 5-corner track. But however, to keep the whole triangle aspect of it. I guess maybe the drivers treat it as 5. If you're driving, if you're one of those guys, maybe treating it as a 5-corner track might help.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'll tell you exactly that theory. Hopefully not under the next caution. As these drivers get ready to go racing here once again, that 14 Danny Jackson will bring them to the green flag. And Dale is up in that 2nd spot now, as we are now halfway through this event. 3 wide back behind them for that 2nd spot. Currently it's in the hands of Richard O'Day, or Ode. I'm not sure which one it is, but he will take over that 2nd spot. And here comes Andrew Teft in that number 98 machine. He's looking to make his way back to the front of this field. as he runs hard on the inside now of your points leader, Dale, as they head down into turn number 1. Andrew Teft, he will overtake for that 4th spot, and now he will say, "Oh, 3 wide for that 2nd spot." As you see Andrew Teft just absolutely rocking around these top 2. Oh, big hit! The 31 up in the wall. No, the 78 hit the wall instead. Oh, there it is. Michael Prince finally went around, and that will bring out our caution.
Man, we were going so clean there for a while, and now I guess we're approaching halfway. Everyone's getting a little antsy. Damage is coming out. People are spinning. Yeah, I don't know what changed. We had a really nice long green flag run for about 60 laps there, and then the last about 20 laps have been kind of a bit of chaos.
Yeah, it's definitely been chaos for like the last 30 laps or so, you know. As let's come back here, take a look, see what happened. Hard contact from the 78. You know, he's definitely wasn't happy with something that happened, you know, back in turns 1 and 2. And that allowed you know, Andrew Teft to quickly get around him.
Yeah, 78 really kind of pile drives him in there. I want to take an onboard look from the 78 there, and just kind of see what happened. Is everyone's pitting right now under the replay, under the caution. See if we can get a bit of an onboard 78 before we jump back.
And is there also a way to go back just a little bit to see what happened there on the exit of turn 2 that time?
Oh yeah, of course. Do you remember who that was with?
These two right here.
Okay.
Yeah, so
pile drives him in. 31 gets spooked as he coming around again, and he just overcorrects, kind of spins, and then overcorrects again, and that's kind of what did him in. Yeah, let's see if we can get.
Yeah, so heading down into turn number 1. Yeah, it looks like
I wonder if that was payback. Nudged him out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
He just kind of breaks a little bit later and smack.
Yeah, he definitely went out of his way. I hate to say it, but he went out of his way to get that back into that number 3145 machine of Michael Prince there.
Maybe cool out and cool on the track, but the temperatures within the cars are pretty mighty high.
Yeah, starting to heat up for sure. So I want to jump back to that theory at Pocono while we're under this caution as lights go off here on the pace car. So as you know, the three corners are Milwaukee, Indy, and then turn 1 is based off of, I think it's like Auto Club, maybe one of those corners. So Auto Club in Milwaukee, their corners is 1, 2, 3, 4, when in reality there's only 2 corners. However, at Indy, there is 4 corners, which would actually be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but it's only 4 corners. So if you base it off of the tracks that Pocono was designed off of, it has 5 corners.
Oh, I see. That does make sense.
Yes.
I never really thought about it in that way either.
As we are back, green flag racing Danny Jackson in that number 14. He will rocket quickly out to that race lead. But Alex Teft is hard on his tail as he's looking to the outside, heading down into turn number 1. But Teft was not able to make anything happen as you have them running side by side behind them with Andrew Teft and Cody Benelli. Andrew Teft trying to take over that 3rd spot as he will clear him heading down here into turn number 3. As we take a look here at Austin Norris in that number 7 machine, as Cody Benelli, he's now working that inside, heading down here into turn number 1. As these drivers will run side by side down the back straightaway now. But that 7 of Norris, he will get a good run down the back straightaway And here comes Michael Prince now trying to work the outside of Benelli. Almost made a little bit of contact there heading down into turn number 3, but he backed it out and he will fall right back behind Benelli in that that fifth spot.
Yeah, Michael Prince trying to really work his way back up. He lost some spots there. However, Richard Ode, the 78, is all the way back in the rear of the field, so no kind of problem there for them. They've kind of been separated naturally by the track. But yeah, Michael Prince trying to work his way back up, trying to get into that P4 spot. He's taken up that last spot in the top 5, but work his way up. As Cody Benelli is really dropping hard. I wonder if he's kind of staving his rears, staving his tires as everyone else is trying to push him really hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, don't forget, Richard Odin, that number 78 machine, he's been fast all race. So don't count him out to get back up into that top 5 area. So like I said, just don't count him out. Get back up there, and we're about to see what kind of horsepower it really is under that 78 machine, as we see that number 1945 machine of Michael Prince trying to get around Sean Dunaway in that 01 machine. Alrighty, here we go. Now this is a good little battle up here for the top 5, as you see Michael Prince and that 7 machine of Austin Norris really duking it out. Michael Prince trying to work now to the outside, and he will do a crossover, almost a crossover on Andrew Teft as they head down into the dogleg into turn number 3. And here comes Prince running to the outside. Jackson got up into the wall there on the entrance of turn 1, so that's probably going to slow his momentum just a little bit, as Prince is now working to the outside of Teft, trying to overtake for that 3rd spot. Teft, he will currently, right now, he will just take it and hold on to it for the moment. And here comes Sean Dunaway now closing in on this battle here for that 3rd spot. He's looking to overtake both of these drivers to move up back into the podium position.
Something interesting about Daniel Jackson is he hasn't hit since lap 8, I believe. So that was one of the first cautions that we had.
Wow.
Whereas the rest of these drivers are kind of in the second to last or the last caution of lap 81 or lap 72. So interesting that Daniel Jackson has been able to hold on. I wonder if he was doing any kind of tire saving strategy. Kind of kept his tires cool, kind of solidified them a little bit more, and now he's able to just kind of not run away with it, but definitely ahead of everyone else. I'm using that dirty air to kind of it's easy switching between being in front of that 43 of Alex Teft and the 98 of Andrew Teft. Others racing there.
Yes.
Michael Prince. Ooh.
Oh, and trouble behind the. Oh no! Hard hit there for the 8 car. Oh, now even more contact from that number 10 of Kirby, Wayne Scott.
Meatball flag now. Shocking. Alex Teft does not have a meatball.
Wow, that is absolutely crazy. Let's come back here, take a look, see what happened. Heading down, yeah. So heading down here into turn 1, that number 30, yeah, Michael Prince, he just shoved his.
Okay, so yeah, Alex Teft tries to go for that gap between Michael Prince and I believe that's Sean Dunaway, and 19 and 8.
Oh. Yeah, they were unfortunate. Innocent bystander there.
Look at this one more time. Michael Prince not making any friends. So yeah, as
No.
Alex Teft tries to split the 31 and the 01, due to Michael Prince and Alex getting into it, and then he hits the 19, who then gets into the 8, and kind of cascades that effect down. Ooh, the 8
Mm.
of Curtis really hitting that ball hard.
I am hearing from the amazing race control speed zone. They have told that number 45 machine of Michael Prince to park his car. So Michael Prince will be done for this race.
Yeah, he's had one too many incidents. They were pretty tough there. He's national drivers there, so I think they're just on the put it in the garage, put it away, cool off, and back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm also hearing Curtis Ecker. He has packed up his number 8 machine as well. So he will also end his day here at Phoenix early.
Yeah,
So a lot of really good cars getting taken out early in this event.
Curtis had some damage on earlier as well, so I think he had already used his fast repair, and then with that damage, oh no, he didn't. He cleared his meatball flag, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that was just Curtis Ecker just being done for the night, or he's out of fast repairs, doesn't have any, just too much damage to take care of. Not exactly. Up there, and we're approaching the cactus.
And as we bring these drivers back down into the restart zone. Give me one moment here.
Jackson's dropping like a rock now. As he writes up his rears and he spins it around.
Yep, that will bring out the caution here once again. For the most part, a couple of these drivers have had really good saves. It's like they will loop it, grab the gear, and then just take off after doing a 360. Let's see here what happened on the exit turn 4. Yep. Just a little too much throttle there, and around she goes. Really, really good driving there for Danny Jackson in that number 14 machine.
I think it's about time Daniel Jackson's gonna probably bring it down pit road, as he has not yet. Oh no, he did. He came down last caution. So those are new tires. It almost seemed like.
Yep.
I mean, those old tires actually ended up helping him. They were kind of, rubbered in. They were didn't have that nice smooth finish on top. So that might have been helping him there. I mean, he was definitely losing places, but I guess these are the first cold tires he's had since the restart. So something new to him in a sense.
Yeah. All right, so I did get word from Curtis Ecker that he did have too much damage to continue.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he had pulled that new car out earlier. This was he was just kind of done for the race. Tired. Jeff's really hanging back on the pace car. He's not really. Most people are kind of up in the rear grill, I guess you want to call it, the tailpipe, the pace car. He's hanging back. He's given some space, being respectful. Oh, always protect it.
Aw, but that's the fun part.
Barry or Fred, isn't it? Like Fred the pace car?
So Fred is the pace car driver. Barney is our flag man.
How did I?
Flintstones. Fred and Barney. Alrighty. It is going to be Andrew Teft, Richard O'Day on the outside. As we get ready to go back, green flag racing. Austin Norris, Dale Prokop, Valaquet, he'll be in the fourth spot. As we get the green flag, an incredible jump there by Andrew Teft. He will quickly clear Richard, as Richard, he will stay in that second spot nice and easy now. As you see that 7 of Austin Norris working on the inside of Dale as they go through turns 1 and 2 here once again. Right behind them, Sean Dunaway in that Hello Kitty sponsored Chevrolets. He's starting to make his way back towards the front of this field as well. But he's got a lot of pressure coming now from Timothy Eisburn as they come out of turn number 4 back to the start finish line into the dogleg. Really good racing out throughout the field so far here on this restart. That 0-1 now of Sean Dunaway. He's still trying to work on the inside of Eisburn for that 5th spot, but so far he has to prevail. Eisburn, he will overtake that spot. Sean Dunaway, he'll continue to fall back to that 7th spot, getting passed by Alex Teft. As Sean Dunaway, he will fight back on the inside here. As you see that number 15 of Kensley Smith trying to make some noise behind them as well.
The scariest part of this racetrack is are the restarts, because like I was saying earlier, you can really spin it up on the exit of turn 4 and the exit of turn 2, as well as whenever people take this especially in the restarts, when people are taking that, you never really know where they're going to come back up the dog leg, because you fan out so wide, like you said earlier. It's like almost like you're in 2 different zip codes. It's so far apart, and then guys on the dog leg kind of flying back in on the track, and I've just seen it once too many times where they just kind of just barely hit the car in front of them or behind them, and they go first in. So it's definitely terrifying, especially if you're not the one not taking the dog leg, and you see them flying up next to you. It's pretty concerning as they come flying in. Fact about Phoenix here, it was actually originally created for oval racing, or not oval racing. Of course, it was created for oval racing. It was originally created for open wheel racing. So it was they wanted to become the home for open wheel racing, and basically in the western half of the United States. And it did that. It hosted more than 40 consecutive years for IndyCar racing, and then later on it added the Copper World Classic. I think it added for the Silver Crowns and midgets in the 70s, and then only not too short after that, I think it was in the 80s when NASCAR brought it here for their first time in Cup. It was late 80s, correct me if I'm wrong, and that's where it kind of came from there. And then I believe it started to become it was the first ever truck series race as well. I don't remember when they made it the Cup Series Championship. I think it was might have been in 2019. I think it was right around COVID. I do remember that. While we have a little bit of time, we're going to take a quick commercial break. You guys will go stay picture in picture. You'll be able to see the race on the bottom right hand corner of your screen, and we'll be back shortly.
Am I clear?
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Phoenix Raceway right here in the desert of Arizona. We have an incredible battle now brewing here for our second spot. Kensley Smith, as you saw in our side-by-side, took over from Richard O'Day in that number 78 machine, as we have Dale now back up in that fourth spot, getting around Austin Norris. And as of right now, as it stands, Dale, he will overtake that championship spot back from Andrew. So it's pretty much clean cut and clear, you know. Dale needs to finish a fourth or better today here, with Andrew Teft winning, in order to clinch that championship at the end of this race, as we are allowing time to keep on ticking down, as we have just about 33 laps left, 32, something like that. So time is 39 laps. 39 laps remaining in this race. So time is definitely ticking away here for Dale, and now he's got to defend. And Andrew has to pray that something else will happen to him. So we have a play of what needs to happen and how things need to stay right now to benefit Dale or to benefit Andrew. So I know right before that commercial break, you know, you were talking about the history of this track. You know, it's absolutely phenomenal how far this track has come. It started out to be just for a open wheel, you know, racetrack for essentially karts, which was IndyCar at the end of the day. As we see a good battle now here between that 0-1 of Dunaway and Eisburn. You know, back in 1995, the NASCAR Truck Series made their debut here at Phoenix, opening up to a phenomenal, awesome racing tier for NASCAR. And so it's absolutely phenomenal, because IndyCar doesn't really come to Phoenix anymore. And this is originally what Phoenix was built for, was IndyCar.
Yeah, I personally never, before I did some research on this track, I never really knew that. I didn't know that kind of IndyCar, this is what it was designed for. It was meant for IndyCar. It was meant for these open wheelers. And now that I know that, I think soon I'm gonna have to jump into the IndyCar and try it out, see what it's like. Maybe take the Silver Crown around here, see kind of how it drives. Because that's something I just never knew. I never tried. It's not a super popular track for leagues to do either in the IndyCar. So that's going to be
No.
something new. I'm definitely going to try. And the trucks around here are a blast. Honestly, I prefer the trucks here over any other oval car. It's so much fun, and definitely my preferred car.
I prefer the trucks no matter what. What are you talking about? Man, I absolutely love the NASCAR trucks. They're so much fun. I mean, and you know, I prefer to watch a truck race over cup cars simply because those drivers, they don't care. They love to beat and bang and have fun, and that's where they get the tough trucks name for that series. But yeah, run IndyCar around this track. It is an absolute blast. You know, and with the Indy cars, you know the saying, you know, those cars have, you know, extra wide tires, bigger than these cup cars, and they're weigh half as much. You know, from the good old days of Thunder, you know, there's so much grip out of the Indy car here. It is so much fun to drive.
Yeah, I love the IndyCar. I love the truck as well. That's actually, I used to, for Racers Elite, the Tuesday Truck Series. We were doing the mixed truck series on Tuesdays with Racers Elite on the Racers Elite Network. Over the summer it was with Money Entertainment, and I do work with Money Entertainment quite a bit. And I loved it so much that unfortunately you guys were pulling away from Maconi, and I went up to Andrew Teff and I was like, hey, I loved this so much. Can I just like come and work for you guys? This is fantastic. I love watching the trucks. I love racing the trucks, getting into the trucks, and same thing with IndyCar. I'm not as good with the IndyCar around ovals. Like I said, I'm definitely a road kind of guy. But I fell in love with the IndyCar with Watkins Glen, and then ever since it's just a blast to drive anywhere else. I mean, I may not be good at the IndyCar and ovals, but I still have a load of fun doing it. And that's all.
Yeah, I actually got my first IndyCar win at Watkins Glen a few years ago. I have, I think, 2 or 3 IndyCar wins. One of them is at Daytona on the big oval, and the other one is at Watkins Glen. So definitely, you know, the IndyCar definitely isn't my thing, but I know how to handle that. I know how to manhandle that car.
It is a very fun car, and actually, I want to try the Indy next as well. That also seems like a but yeah, I'm saving my pennies here and there, not buying everything that iRacing offers.
Yeah, I absolutely love, you know, taking advantage of their downtimes because they make the demo drive available, and you can test different cars and track combos, you know, even if you don't own them. So I think that's pretty cool. I love how you get to test drive, you know, if you really want to figure out if you want to drive that car or not, or buy it, the test demo times are definitely that time that you want to test those out.
Yeah, I guess in like 5 weeks or so here, we'll be hitting week 13 again, so that demo drive will be available one more time. I guess they have that every Tuesday in the morning, so maybe I'll be able to hop on real quick for those, but maybe not. We'll see. I definitely want to drive the Indy next. I knew that just came out, so obviously it wasn't available in the demo until then, but maybe it'll be available this next time.
It'll definitely be available the next time it opens up. As we continue to watch that number 01 here, Sean Dunaway lose a little bit of ground here on Timothy Eisburn as we fall back here to the number 14 now of Danny Jackson. He hasn't been really able to regain the positions as he tapped the wall there up in turn 1. He just hasn't been able to get that number 14 car to work back how it was at the start of this race, you know, when he was up front leading.
Yeah, he definitely kind of saved himself, got up front. Really hasn't been able to do it, but he was able to run really far on those tires. So if he's lucky enough, maybe you know, there's another caution. He might not end up pitting based on his last performance. He's only had 3 pits. Corby Wainscott, the driver ahead of him. Oh, as he pits now. I wonder if he was running out of fuel. Let's see when his last.
Yeah, Austin Norris in that number 7. He's coming down pit road as well.
We just. Yeah. He definitely made it on fuel, but I guess the tires were. He probably would have hit last on like lap 80 now. So I think now is. Move. If there is another caution, he makes out like a dog. But he makes out really. But if it keeps running green, he's gonna go lap. Not gonna be good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he just.
Yeah, so now with them coming down to get fresh tires, they got to be really careful here. I need to step away for a brief moment. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, now you're with me. Let's jump on to the battle. Let's beat Iceberg and Richard Code. They're battling. Well, Sean Dunaway there. Drivers also actually Richard Code is not. Timothy Eisburn and Sean Dunaway are, but Code is not in our rotation. Are interesting. We are they've raced every day, not every day, but most days. And like I said, Tuesday night truck leagues. That's I produce that as well. So great to put that out on Tuesday nights. I believe that truck 7:45 p.m. At Racers Elite, or you can go to racerselite.com. All of the series that they run. Around on the back of the Iceburn. Definitely kind of driven just away from Sean Dunaway and Richard Ode there. Richard Ode actually might have gotten a little bit loose because he's back now behind Kirby Wainscott in 7th. Not sure exactly what happened there, but Sean Dunaway really keeping up with Timothy there, staying in his draft, and then jumping out of his vacancy. So Timothy's going to take pretty low. Actually, he might be doing some dirty air technique to try to get him to kind of lose some of the arrow, lose some of that grip, and slide up the back a little slower. Jump up the battle for 2 with DPV and Kensley Smith. As Kensley Smith just taps the wall there, just barely exit. I believe that was turn 1. Right on board here with TPV and see what the lines are between TPV and Kensley Smith. Kensley Smith had a decent race. He's pit about 5 times now. I started into 4th with Andrew Teft, obviously leader, 2.5 seconds ahead, just about. DPV, excuse me, gets into the wall a little bit as well in turn 3. But or turn 1, excuse me. I'm messing these up.
It happens to me all the time too. It's okay. So as we ride on board now with DPV, you know, he's doing a really good job up there in that 3rd spot. You know, as of right now, he's clinched the championship running this in this position. As we have just about 15 laps to go now till the end of this event. So no matter what happens now, as long as Dale can stay up there in that 3rd spot, you know, he's going to clinch that championship. As he's still, now we're trying to get around that number 15 here of Kensley Smith. Yeah. He's definitely a little bit quicker here than Kensley, so it might not take too much longer here to get Dale to get around Kensley as they head down into turn 1. But it looks like Kensley, he keeps running that high line, taking away Dale's line here in the closing laps to try to keep that number 9 machine behind him as they dive down here into turn number 3 once again. 2 different lines, and Dale's going to have to try to do something different, to get around the 15 here. I thought he was going for the crossover there for a second. Dale up into the wall here once again as they will come back around to the line to have 11 laps to go. Andrew Teft out to a 3.5 second lead over these 2 drivers behind them. But Dale's got to take it easy still, because he's still running for a championship. Even if he can't take over from Kensley here, he will take home the championship. As you see, Dale now getting on the inside here of Kensley for that second spot. And they will come out of turn number 2 and they will drag race down the back straightaway here. Side by side now heading down into turn number 3. Dale on the inside, Smith to the outside. Who is going to have the better run out of turn number 4? It's right now showing to be Kensley Smith. But Dale, he's not giving up that inside lane so easily as they head back down into turn number 1 here once again. Dale will slide up the track just a little bit, but he will not hold that momentum. But they will continue to run side by side down the back straightaway. Dale, he got his nose out in front just a little bit there, but unable to do anything with it as they continue to run side by side. And now your race leader, Teft, has moved up to almost a 4.5 second lead on your race on these second and third place drivers back here as we ride on board here once again with Dale. Dale get a rocket ship out of the corner there out of turn 2. He was able to make a little bit of ground on the side there of Smith, but unable to make it happen as they continue to run side by side with 8 laps to go. Down onto the apron for both of these drivers, trying to give it all they got. They touch. He will use everything he can, but he will give it right back to Kensley Smith, and he will reset himself to try it all over again. That right there is the kind of sportsmanship that we like to see, and that is something that Racers Elite is absolutely known for. Despite what we saw earlier on today, this right here is what these drivers do. If they know that, they're going to take over the position after doing something like that, they normally will let off and give the position back, and they'll turn around and re-attack. As you see, Dale now getting a good head of steam out of turn 2, as he's now going to try to make his way back around to the inside of that number 15 of Kensley Smith, as we have 6 laps to go now. Don't count these guys out just yet. Both drivers up into the wall, and here comes Dale back to the inside of Kensley Smith, and Dale will get a head of steam down the back straightaway, and right behind them is that number 43 of Alex Teft. He's now going to try to make some noise back here, and he's looking now to make some moves for that. No, that's not Alex Teft. I lied. No, that's the 14 of Danny Jackson. Yeah, he got me too there. Yeah, so Alex Teft, he's now that blue car that's behind Kensley now. So, and with that separation there, Dale was able to pull away from Kensley Smith. So that battle for second has now gone to Dale.
And next battle on track. Guys definitely had an up and down race there. Definitely been able to keep this thing keep fast. I'd like to note Richard Ode received a knee call back 8 laps ago and was in the grid. Not exactly sure what happened there.
Yeah, definitely a heartbreak there for Richard Ode in that number 78 Toyota having an incredible run. As we see Timothy Eisburn trying to work on the inside now of that number 10 of Kirby Wayne Scott. But let's jump back up here to your race leader as he's getting ready to come to the start finish line to take over to take the white flag. Yep, here it is. White flag now for Andrew Teft, driver of that number 98 Racers Elite Ford Mustang. He had an incredible season, incredible run here as he dives down into turn number 3 once again, and he'll come to the start finish line. Winner here at Phoenix is going to be Andrew Teft. However, the man of the hour is going to be that number 9 machine of Dale Prokop Valaquet, as he will bring home the championship into that number 9 machine, as we see Wayne Scott lose it out of turn number 4. What an incredible race after things started off strong, had a little bit of issues in the middle, but then these drivers were able to turn it around, clean it up for us to have an incredible run to the finish here. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 Chartered Events winner is going to be Andrew Teft, as he will burn it down here at the start finish line. And in order to get the championship, Dale had to finish fifth or worst. But unfortunately for Andrew, Dale finished second, which means Dale Prokop Valaquet, he will be your 2025 Chartered Events season champion right here at Phoenix Raceway. What an incredible race all around, Christian. What are your thoughts before we start bringing in some drivers for interviews and possibly a short commercial break?
Yeah, that was a great race. You had those long green flag runs. You had with the battling who could save their tires. You had those short runs with the trying to make up places within the cautions, trying to keep it safe. You had some fighting. You had some damages. It was just a great race. You had a combination of everything. That's what I really love about Phoenix. It kind of brings everything together, and it makes it a really fun and exciting end of the season race for both the Cup Series, 2025 Chartered Events Series, and everything else that uses this as kind of a finishing race.
Yeah, it was an absolute phenomenal race all around. Definitely enjoyed the great side-by-side action that we saw today. Let's go ahead and take a brief commercial break here. And when we come back, right now, we'll talk with our season champion, Dale, as he's currently the only one in the waiting room for us. So we'll be back momentarily.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Phoenix Raceway. Well, for the final round of the 2025 season for the Racers Elite Chartered Series, let's take a look here now at our race results after the 156 lap scheduled event. Andrew Teft on top of your leaderboard, followed by Dale Prokop Valaquet in that number 9 machine. Kensley Smith will come home in that third spot in the number 15 machine. Alex Teft will bring it home fourth. Sean Dunaway had a strong finish there, bringing his machine up to fifth. Timothy Eisburn, he brought it up sixth. Kirby Wainscott seventh. Cody Benelli back in the eighth spot. Daniel Jackson, after being very strong, will bring it home ninth. Austin Norris will bring it home 10th. 11th, you got Richard Ode. He had some issues late in the run there, fell back 2 laps. Curtis Ecker and Barry Nelson unfortunately got caught up in some issues early on. Jonathan Stidham, he had to run early. Again, hope your kiddo feels better, John, and much love from us up here in the booth from Racers Elite. Michael Prince, he will finish 15th, 156 laps down. And then Alan Bergen had some engine issues and couldn't get his machine up and running for the race here at Phoenix. All around, ladies and gentlemen, we had an incredible race. And let's go ahead and talk to the man of the hour, Dale Prokop Valaquet, driver of that number 9 machine. Hey Dale, this is Mike Christian up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey guys, how's it going?
It is going. Dale, you had an incredible car at the end of this race. At the beginning, you were hanging back a little bit, filling out right around that 11th, 12th spot. But then at the end, you really came back to get second place and to clinch the 2025 Chartered Event Championship. How does it feel to be a Racers Elite champion, and how was your race today?
I mean, it's great. I'm really excited about it. Well, to be honest with you, the first half of the race, I wasn't hanging back. I couldn't figure out what to do with my car. I'm not super good at the short, flat tracks, but I feel like I just took it easy and saved a little bit of tire, and then towards the middle end of the run, I could get faster just by saving tire. Andrew put on really good butt whooping today. He was really fast. I can't figure out how to do that. But I'm happy to walk away with the title. I knew what I needed to do coming in. I knew I didn't need to throw any Hail Marys. I just needed to keep Andrew within sight, and I just needed to execute that plan.
Yeah, absolutely. In the long run, that was the game plan was, you had to finish fourth or better. And with those struggles early on, were you starting to doubt you would be able to get up into the top 4?
I was for a little bit there, because even 11th place was just pulling away. The whole pack was pulling away from me, and I thought I just wouldn't have the pace. But maybe the track rubbering in helped too with whatever driving style I was doing. The cautions started coming out, bunching us back up together. It all worked out.
Definitely. And now looking forward into the 2026 season, what's it going to take to keep Andrew Teft at bay next season so that you can bring home the championship again to go back to back?
I'm considering taking a break, but if I do come back, I bet it'd be pretty close between probably a few of us, because I think it's more different races that cater to people's different abilities. I feel like it would be more than a 2-horse race. It'd be pretty exciting to see.
Christian, do you have any questions for the champ?
I'd say kind of you had that beginning long green flag run, and you started in 10th. And then we had those long string of cautions. Then we had that other green flag run. Kind of how did you kind of work your way through those cautions? We saw them get pretty messy, especially here at Phoenix with the dog leg. How were you kind of walking your way through those cautions versus kind of trying to keep your tires cool for those green flag runs?
I just tried to. I knew when we got bunched up, it would get a little chaotic. So if anyone was really fighting me or trying to go 3 wide or cutting the dog leg, I would just stay on the track, just go easy, hold my line, let them go if they want to go. I just knew I needed to survive, and that ultimately kind of ended up helping, like you said, the tire cooling, keeping the tires on it. And yeah, I was able to come back second in late half of the run. It was hairy though. There was like beef going on, and I was afraid I was gonna get caught up in the beef, and it was a little stressful.
Definitely could be a very stressful situation for sure. Before we let you go today, Dale, is there anybody that you would like to give a shout out to?
Just shout out to Andrew and everyone who works with him to help put on Racers Elite and um, give us a little platform to showcase our talents.
Perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a driver of that number 9 Budweiser Chevrolet, your season champion, Dale Prokop Valaquit.
All
And
right.
we will see you next season, hopefully.
All right. Thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get that race winner, the number 98 of Andrew Teft. Andrew Teft, do you got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you.
Andrew, once again, you had a dominant car here at Phoenix. You came back, took the win. How fast was that number 98 Ford Mustang today?
Yeah, this thing was on fire today. Really championship focused today. I knew I probably had the winning car, so I was just trying to see how Dale's day was going. He was the one I was up against in the standings. Um, Needed him to finish fifth or worse, and I think he got third. So it's like he beat me by 3 points for the championship. But yeah, I tried to give it away myself by spinning out off of turn 4 there, somewhere around the middle of the race, and 45 tried to end our day for some reason, but came back, fought through it, and yeah, just I finished second in a lot of races in this series this season this year. We've been racing monthly on Sundays, and just needed to pull off a few more wins to be able to contend with Dale there. The difference between second and first place is like 4 points, and it adds up quick. So just needed to capitalize a little bit more. Congrats to Dale.
Yeah, Dale finishing up here second. You know, and you're hoping, that he was going to finish back in the back of the pack. That first half, he was telling us, that he just couldn't get a handle on this race car and this track. And um, were you concerned? At what point did you start getting concerned that you knew that you were going to start losing that championship?
Well, when it was going green at the start, I think he was running back around 10th or so. So I was like, oh, maybe this will go my way. But after all the yellows came out, kind of gave him a chance to figure out the line he needed to run, and started running. So he started running a lot better toward the middle of the race and was able to move up through the pack. But yeah, I was talking to him before the race, and he was saying, hey, this isn't my best track, so this might be interesting. And just doing the math out, we don't have any bonus points in this series, so it worked out that I needed to win, and was able to do my part, but just needed him to have a little bit more bad luck today. Not that I wish that upon him.
Yeah, definitely a very 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 good race. Very close points battle here to finish off the 2025 Chartered Event Series. Um, Next season, you're going to do it all over again. And what are these drivers going to have to do to stop the fast Andrew Teft?
um, well, I need to capitalize a little bit more to uh, be able to be in contention for the championship next year. I run pretty well in next gen. It's not my best car because I like to drive more off the right rear, and this car is just a whole bunch of front weight in it, and feels like you're driving off the right front most of the time, and it's just not really my style. I like to steer with the right rear, use the throttle to turn, and um, kind of picking it up more. I mean, it's not that I'm terrible. I'm usually still a top 5 car. It's just not as successful as the other cars. So hoping to learn some more this season and on Thursdays in our next gen series, and then in 2026 we're going to have a full year series, kind of like what we're doing now, but a much longer season. Not all the races will be full length like we were doing this year. A mixture of half length, full length. But it'll be Sunday mornings at 10, and we've got everything on the schedule: short tracks, plate races, road courses, and gonna have to be good all around to pull this one off. There'll be a lot of guys.
Absolutely. And before we let you go today, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to thank you for toughing it out in the booth today by yourself. Appreciate it. And servicemen and women, congrats again to Dale. Ran a really great season. Can't believe it came down to 8 points after 3 points after all that and all those laps throughout the year. I want to thank friends, family, team, everybody that tunes in to watch, shows up to race. And if you don't mind doing us a favor, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel homepage. It'll help you stay up to date on future shows.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Christian actually joined me up here in the booth, so I wasn't completely alone. So I appreciate that from Christian.
Oh, thank you.
Uh,
And also we've got a brand new Super Speedway Series season starting this upcoming Friday. Let's say it's the 7th. Yeah, November 7th at 9 p.m. We've got a brand new Super Speedway Series starting with no cap. So if you're interested in racing that, I believe it's about 12 or 13 races long. Goes into the next year a little bit. The cost is $20, and it's a really good time. We've got a mixture of all the plate tracks plus a couple oddballs to make it interesting. We've got the 87s at Talladega one of the nights, and a mini stock race at Charlotte, which is a lot of fun. Races a lot like a plate track with that track car combination. So if you need our info, just check us out at racerselite.com. You can find our Discord invite and shoot me a message on Discord. We'll get you set up.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, driver of your number 98 Racers Elite Ford Mustang race winner, Andrew Teft. We will see you next season.
Thanks, guys.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and bring in our final driver of that number 15 Coca-Cola Chevrolet, Kensley Smith. Do you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Kensley, what an incredible run for you. Hang on. Sorry, my kiddos woke up. What incredible run for you in that number 15 Coca-Cola machine here at Phoenix. You were able to bounce back after an early issue. How was your race overall, and what did you think about the season finale here?
On lap 73, when that caution, I think it was the caution came out on that lap, or it might have been somewhere around there. I was gonna try and save fuel to the end, so that's why I dropped to the back, and I would have had enough if it went caution free the rest of the way, but didn't work out that way. So once all these cautions went through, I was like, oh, well, I got to get up and go, and just keep going, get back to the front. I was able to get there, and then right as soon as I get there, I hit the wall and knocked my wheels out of alignment. So then that was a struggle the rest of the way. And then Dale was able to catch me and get by me.
So even with a damaged race car, you're still wicked fast in that number 15 machine. Closing out this season, how was your overall season here in the chartered events? And are you planning on returning next season?
Yeah, of course. I'll be here next season. I think I finished P3 in points, which is nowhere close to where Andrew and Dale were in points, but still finished P3, so that's pretty good. Next season, hopefully, I'll make more of the races and be able to get up there in points a little bit more.
Alrighty, Christian, before we have Kensley do his things, is there anything you would like to ask?
Yeah, this was a rough race on tires. We saw quite a few people spinning it out of turn two. Kind of what was your approach to the tires? I mean, you had that long green flag run, then we had a lot of cautions, and then we had another long green flag run. You never really know when that last caution's going to be. So, kind of what was your strategy with the tires and the pit stops and because we had 100% fuel, so you could. It was a one pit stop race, so it was really just a tire race at this
Yeah. I mean, my tires were all right. They weren't the best. I didn't do a lot of tire saving, but I just didn't like kill them either. So I felt good about my tires. That last run with my wheel alignment being knocked out. After I hopped out of the sim, I looked at it and it was my right front was at 9%. So at some point, if there probably would have been another 10 laps, I probably would have blown a tire or something, or something would have happened. But I mean, without that damage, my tires felt fine.
Right, and before we let you go today, is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Of course, my wife and my daughter, like always, allow me to do this, especially on a Sunday where I'm off work. My daughter's out of school and my wife's off work. It kind of takes a little bit of time away from them, but um, thank you to them for letting me do this, and it's always fun to watch afterwards, anyways. So they kind of enjoy it as well. Um, and of course, Andrew for putting all this on. The dedication from him to basically run a race every night of the week almost is crazy, and I wouldn't be able to do it. I know that for sure. You guys in the booth, pretty sure this is a phenomenal one to rewatch with all the chaos that went on, especially during the middle of the race with the beef. But thank you guys for always stepping in and being here and doing this. And then all my guys at Driving Extreme Inc. Working together. Got the new seasons starting on our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday series. So a lot of teamwork there, and
Yeah, definitely an incredible season out here for you, Kensley. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a driver of that number. I lost your number 15, Kensley Smith. Not exactly sure what happened there. He kind of like faded out at the end there. But yeah, all around, really good race for Kensley Smith. Look forward to seeing him next season. All around, your final thoughts before we head out today?
I think it was an incredible race. Unfortunately, I wasn't here all season. I was only here to produce the last two races, which ended up being some awesome races. Talladega was a good race. We had some long green flag runs. I don't remember if that was a caution free or not. It was pretty. It might have been close to it. I don't think there were many, and if there were, didn't feel like it. And then we had tonight, which was a good run. We had the green flag run in the beginning. We had a couple of cautions in the middle, and then we had that other long green flag run. So definitely a good race. We had a little bit of everything, a little bit of beef, a little bit of kind of tire wear, spinning out, and so I think it was a great race to a great end of the season. Congratulations to Dale Prokop of Valaket and Andrew Taft for coming in a close second and winning the race.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. A very good race all around, close championship battle to finish it out. Definitely what we like to see in any league that it runs here on iRacing. But I think that's going to do it for us for this season of your 2025 targeted events. Keep an eye on racerselite.com to get more info of the upcoming season, as we will plan on doing a full long year of racing for these guys. Yeah, so with that being said, on behalf of myself, I am Mike Taylor, joined by the one, the only incredible Christian Hill behind the cameras. Thank you so much, Christian, for joining me up in the booth today. It was an absolute blast. And before we do let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button below, hit that bell, come on out. We've got awesome racing, I believe, almost every single day. So you can always enjoy your evenings with us right here on Racers Elite. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm Mike Taylor, Christian Hill. Thank you so much for joining us right here on Racers Elite Network. And I hope you all have a happy time zone. See you next time.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.